Welcome to your unfiltered guide to navigating the workplace as a Black woman, the Black Womaning in Corporate America podcast with your host, Nicole S. Palmer. I am the CEO and founding partner of Delnick Media, an independent publishing company that amplifies underrepresented and marginalized voices. This podcast was inspired by my award-winning and best-selling book, Playing the Game While Black Womaning in Corporate America. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Black Womaning in Corporate America with your host, Nicole S. Palmer. And I have a guest that I'm super excited about. And y'all know how I like to do. I don't like to steal anyone's thunder, so I'm going to have her take it away. Please introduce yourself for the folks at home.
Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate being here. My name is Lynnae Brown. I'm a consultant and strategist. I specialize in workforce navigation is what I call it. I basically help people make work for them. I'm working with people to help be able to keep their jobs, hold a little bit differently so that there's some relief, flexibility, and sustainability. That's what my focus is right now. Yes.
Yes. Those are all of the words I need to hear.
Yes.
Like, they're not buzzwords, they're actually concrete, tangible. Thank you. Yes, we need more of that.
Indeed.
Seriously. And so I'm super excited to have you. And as we were talking offline, your subject line gripped me. And I said, yes. We need to talk about this because it is so timely. It's for such a time as this. I feel like I'm saying that a lot these days, but really and truly, it's such a powerful concept that I think more of us Black women, y'all know how we do up in here.
Yes.
Y'all see the name of the podcast. Please
Yes.
don't act all shocked. Don't clutch your invisible pearls. And if you're offended, please exit immediately.
Exactly.
Okay?
I get that. Because I just, I'll just tell you that I'm glad we're here to talk about this concept that I've been working with for a while called Marry Your Talent, Not Your Title. It comes from a background though. It's interesting where I got my ideas from and kind of what I'm entrenched in. For over a decade, my work was about training and developing people in mental health recovery to work in social services.
Okay.
And so I think about workplace culture in a different way because my work was about helping people not only develop their profession, but actually work in workplaces that weren't meant for them. Who else do we know that has that going on? I wonder, and so I did that for many years. And so I just was like, when I was working with people, teaching people and training people to think about how to work on self-accommodation and self-advocacy in the workplace. And then I just thought, this can work across industries. Like, this is a kind of thinking that we don't hear a lot of an overall workplace culture.
Absolutely.
And especially as Black women, we are very used to working in places that were not meant for us. And so I just thought I'd bring some of these lessons to your audience as well as to another part of my work.
Yeah, say that again, because really and truly, that is the entire premise of Black Women in Corporate America. And I really emphasize that because we, Black women and Black womaning specifically is all of the good things. It's Black girl magic. It's the fabulousness. It is everything we are.
Yeah.
And then you put us in a so-and-so place that is corporate America.
Yes.
And it is suddenly changed because of the toxicity, the systemic racism, the bias, all of the things, all of the isms. And now we can't thrive in a space because it was never designed with us in mind. So I love that so much. And it's so fascinating that you were able to essentially, you just told us your origin story without me putting you on the spot. You were able to take those learnings from such really doing the Lord's work, to be very clear, because I think as social workers, especially, that's already so heavy.
Yes.
And you're training the trainer, which is a whole thing unto itself. That you were doing. So mad respect and kudos to you, because I'm telling you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Ooh,
It was like, it's interesting because as someone who has had many jobs, it was one of my favorite. It was one of my favorite, favorite jobs to really work with is supporting people in mental health recovery to become service users, to become service providers. And they also had similar backgrounds, like they might have a background in domestic violence, they might have a lived experience in incarceration, substance use, that sort of thing. But the work was about helping them take their lived experience and use it to help other people in social services in their recovery process. Like that's a whole industry in and of itself. And so, that was a whole thing in and of itself. And so the one thing I really saw a lot of was a couple of things that I thought was really great crossover. Yeah. One is when people who have had a lot go on in their lives find a job that really makes them feel like they're somebody, like they matter. Yeah. The automatic understanding, or the automatic kind of like natural thing to do, is make that title, like hang your worth on that title, because that title really means a lot. Whether you've earned it, you've worked hard for it, it makes complete sense why we do that. And what I used to tell my folks is your title like tells people where you're on the hierarchy in your agency. It tells people your role there. But your talent is much more than that. Your talent is all the skills and the full value that you bring to every situation that you're a part of. And that doesn't, your title can't encompass all of that. And so, and it's also, as you know, and we know that people are now getting laid off for profit. It's not even about performance anymore. It's profit. So 100%. It's very dangerous, quite frankly, to like put your sense of self on your title. It's more important that you keep it really on yourself.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, and we're going to definitely dive into that. Okay. And I'm curious to know, because obviously you're doing something very different now than you were then. Yeah. And your roles and your work has evolved over time.
Yes.
So was there, because I feel like there's always like in the hero's journey or the villains.
Yes. Yes.
There's always that defining moment that's like, this is it. This is the thing that made me say, nope, not here. I'm going over here. So did you have that moment?
Oh, yes. I did not know we were going to go here, but okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Okay.
This is how we do it up in here.
Okay.
It's a safe space.
We're going to be real. Okay. We're going to be for real. Okay. Let me get comfortable here. Okay. Because there's a whole story.
You need to.
That's a whole story. Okay. So I love this job very much. It was a very important job. I got a lot of kudos for it. I worked with a lot of really great people who had never had jobs before, people who were in prison for many years. This was the first job they ever had. It was very, very rewarding. And it's in social services. And as anyone who knows who works in social services, that the industry, the way it's set up, it's there to manage suffering, not get rid of suffering.
Whew. Yeah.
Right.
That's a word.
And it's a systems issue. It's not a personal aspect. It's a systems issue. And so what had happened was, so I was in this position for about 10 years. Well, actually, it was like 9 years, and then COVID happened.
Okay,
COVID happened, and then we had to work from home, and I had to figure out how to take all of this training and put it online with my staff. Oof. And that in and of itself was a big, big lift, right? It was a really big lift. And, but we got it done. Like within a month, we were online. We were still figuring out a way to do our training online, etc.
Right.
And that's when I started recognizing how burned out I was, because now I'm working from home. My focus was just on the work itself. I wasn't navigating staff so much. Like in my space, being personally around people a lot. I wasn't managing, the emotional labor was a lot less. And I could feel the deep, deep fatigue. Like that kind of fatigue that this isn't just I need a vacation. This is, I'm exhausted first. Yeah. Second, it was recognizing this wasn't going to get any better. Like my work situation wasn't going to get better. Right. It was very I called it like, what do you call it? Sisyphean, rolling the rock up the hill and watching it roll back down.
Oh my gosh.
I
Yes.
felt like that a lot of the time. Like again, so we had our program running, and then we had to go online, and then we were online for 2 years, and they said we have to go back in person, and then I was going to go back in person and try to figure all this out. And I was just thinking to myself, and I think what really got me, two things happened. One was they had said, we're going to have you go back in person in the fall. Like, it was only 2 years into COVID, right? And I said, okay, so we're going to be in a classroom full of a lot of vulnerable people, and people being exposed to COVID. Yes, the medications were out by then, but it was very risky to put vulnerable people together. And they just said, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it as we have to deal with it. And I was just like, okay, so I'm just going to go, I'm not sure I'm the one or the two or the three for this, right?
Hello.
First, right?
Or the four.
Right. And then the other thing that happened was, and I'd already thinking about like, what else could I do? What else would I want to do? I was also in the public student loan forgiveness program. And I got forgiven May 9th, 2022.
Okay. Hallelujah.
I put in my notice June 1st, 2022.
Oh, that's right.
Because I was like, okay. This
I'm delivered. Like, yeah. That changes some things, don't it?
That's just to be real. It was just that I like I said, I loved the job. I loved what I was doing. I would say I loved what I was doing, but the capacity and the job wasn't quite it anymore. I think I grew up and out of it, and I wanted to figure out what else I could do.
Yeah.
And initially, when I left, in fact, I was in New York at the time. I left New York. I came back to Massachusetts, where I'm originally from, and I was consulting in peer support. That's what I was doing because I'm known nationally as someone who knows about peer support training and development.
Right.
And that was going great. For about 2 years, I was working with people at Rutgers University. I did a job at Harvard. It was going great. Okay, so last March, our favorite president, their administration, actually canceled a bunch of grants for mental health and substance use money that was put there by Biden, part of the COVID package, that we knew was going to not be renewed in September. We all figured it's like, let's get this project done because he's not going to renew this in September. Right. But who knew that he could cancel it in March?
My God, today.
So that's what he did. He canceled that. And so that not only shriveled up a big contract that I had.
Right.
Also, everyone I was talking to about future things, they were like, we don't have any money because we're trying to figure out how to keep the doors open. Right. And that was real. That social services, and that was real. And so I thought, okay, so this is not going to work. It doesn't work now, and it's not going to work for the future, because social services is not really changing very much.
Right.
But like I said, I just thought I loved what I did. I just knew that I wanted to use what I learned somehow. And then I started going down the road of people talking about like psychological safety and trauma-informed management in for profit. And I thought, oh, that's what I did. That's exactly the work I was doing. I was thinking about what keeps people psychologically safe, how to self-accommodate versus self-advocate. And yeah, so that's what just brought me to this work. And what I've been doing over the last several months is I've been doing a lot of posting and writing. And now I'm on a podcast talking to people like yourself, trying to get the word out about what I do and kind of delivering the message this way. So yeah, I'm glad to be here.
I love that. And there are two things that I want to touch on. The first one, I'm gonna go backwards.
Okay.
So you mentioned about learning how to self-accommodate versus self-advocate.
Yes.
Break that down for us, please, for the folks at home who may or may not want to, maybe me. Like, break that down.
No, it's okay.
Break that down.
No, self-accommodate is just about getting your needs met without involving other people. And sometimes I just know because the people that I was working with oftentimes were used to receiving services and not having like natural friendships and supports. And so their primary relationships were with service provision. And so sometimes they would think in terms of, in order for them to get what they need, somebody else had to do it for them. And so that we use that word a lot. It's like, actually you can get your needs met without involving anyone else. And let's talk about the different ways you can do that. So that was very important to make that distinction. And then self-advocate, of course, is if you do need to say clearly, communicate clearly about what you need in order to make something work. That's the difference of what it means. But I know the people that I worked with, they really needed those distinctions to be made because because again, lots of people who, if they were used to receiving services, oftentimes would forget that they had more agency than they realized. So,
Yeah, and I think I'm so fascinated by it because like the terms themselves aren't foreign, but I what fascinated me is to hear them from the perspective of us as Black women, especially high performing, overachieving Black women, and how much time we spend in one versus the other.
yes.
And I'm just saying. And so that's why it just like really stuck with me because I would bet dollars to donuts we are doing a whole lot of accommodation and nowhere near as much advocacy for ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's really the key there because we learn to like I think we are the world's greatest chameleon, the human chameleon. Like 100%, and no one will ever be able to tell me different. So goodbye. Like I will stand 10 toes down on this.
Yes.
Okay. The world's greatest chameleon. We can adapt. We can shift into the street vernacular or the corporate speak. Y'all know what it is. We code switch like water when we have to, depending on
That's
the
right.
situation. And so it's so fascinating to hear that said because I know I was doing a whole lot of the accommodation, but I would almost say contortion.
Yeah. Yeah. But I would also say too, it's like, I think what's, and I totally agree with you. First, I want to say I agree with you. Absolutely. I think
Yeah,
we
no.
learned as a survival strategy that no
Yeah.
one's going to save us.
Woo.
Like we know as
Rule
Black
number
women,
seven, girl.
ain't nobody going to
Rules.
come save us. We have to save ourselves, no matter
Yes.
what
All the
happens.
time.
So I absolutely 100% agree with you. And I also think it's about sometimes, it depends on what it is. Sometimes it is good to, when you had needs, to self-accommodate and be more stealthily. Because sometimes
Yes.
if you self-advocate, it gives a person or people reason to push back.
Oh no, that's a good point.
You know,
Yeah.
sometimes it just, you don't want to give a reason for people to push back on you. You just want to get your needs met, and the least amount of people involved in that, the safer you are, not only to get your needs met, but less pushback. So yeah, I would just make that
Yeah.
distinction too. Because
Yeah.
I,
Kenny. Yeah. Kenny Rogers know what he was talking about. He's like, you got to know when to hold them. And that applies to us
it's true.
too. It's not just a
It's
country
true.
song,
It's true.
y'all. Like it's a whole message. It's a whole message. Like listen to them. Listen to that chorus.
Yeah.
It might change your life. You might look at
For
things
real,
different.
right?
Like I've been doing corporate all wrong. Like I'm
Yes.
telling them everything ahead of time. And another
Yes.
thing,
And
in two
another
weeks'
thing.
time, don't do that.
Yeah. Yes.
Sometimes you got to move in secret. So
Yes.
that's a good word, and I agree with that. It just kind of hit me when I look back at, and this is the other thing that's so interesting to me, and it will never stop being fascinating. Is how long it takes us to recover from a toxic job. Or from the PTSD that is caused by a toxic job. I still have moments when I recount stories when I'm talking to like a colleague or a friend or my husband, and I still cry about this job that I done left. It's been like there's been multiple anniversaries since the exit, and still, and they say that it takes at least 2 years, and I'm like, I think it's higher than that. Because I left in 2024. I
Okay.
don't even remember. That's what's crazy about it. Like
Right.
it was in this decade,
Right.
but it's still so raw and recent. Like I just left a month ago, a week ago. Like there's still so much hurt and just trauma
Yeah.
related to that. And the other thing that struck me that you said that I was like, ooh, she ain't said a word. And I said this, I remember saying this to the last supervisor I had there. And I said it to my husband. I said, I love my job and I love what I do. It doesn't love me back.
Well.
It,
Well.
it doesn't love me
Yep.
back.
Can't hold you. Can't hold you the way you need to be held. Yep.
But I was still trying.
Yes. You still do that. You still, because you're made to feel that way. You're made to feel that. Oftentimes, it's very interesting to me too as Black people because we know this is a systems issue, right? We know
Yes.
system issues are part of all of the hardship that we deal with, and yet how much we still will continue to blame ourselves when it's dysfunctional situations to figure out, well, I'm supposed to do this and I have to figure out my own way. And I think it's like Part of it is our history of not of wanting to find our agency where we can, which makes sense. It's like
Yes.
if you're working in adverse situations, to find your agency, find what you can do, but that so quickly can go to blame. It's so quick
Ooh,
to go to
yeah.
self blame.
Oh
It's
my
so quickly
gosh.
switch to
Yes.
what's wrong with me. I'm supposed to be a
Yes.
strong black woman, and I'm falling apart right now. I
Mm-hmm.
so appreciate the conversation now that we're taking the capes off and saying, nope, I'm a human being, and no, this isn't right,
Yes.
and I'm not doing all this.
At all.
And I agree with you too. I mean, I left the job. It's been like almost 4 years. I just started feeling physically better, maybe not even a year ago. The first couple of years, I was very tired. Again, as you said, very angry because I'd worked
Yeah.
so hard for something that couldn't hold me.
Right.
And it's funny because I just had lunch the other day with somebody I used to work with, and she's telling me what's happening in the agency now, and it's like, yeah, see, I'm glad I left when I did. But
Those are the best ones. I'm telling you, when you can hear back the tea when you're far removed, and I'm telling you, I just be like, look at God. Like who did what now? And that happened to
yep,
her? Really?
yep,
So everything I said, oh,
yep, yep,
I predicted the thing. Let me
yep,
find out if I can do the Powerball too.
yeah. Right. Hello.
Yes. So yes, I think it takes such a long time to get back to normal. And also realize, as uncomfortable as it feels, it's very much an abusive relationship, right? When you are in those toxic spaces. And to your point about the guilt and the blame, it's the way that I was able to kind of piece it together for myself. It was my job that shall not be named was it was an abusive partner, right? And so all of the things that I dealt with, but then still had the nerve to be like, ain't nobody gonna treat you like me, girl. Who gonna want you? Where you gonna go? You think you can do better than me? And so we believe the
Yes.
lies. We believe them. We internalize them because those are the lies we tell ourselves, and we don't realize that we are echoing those lies. It's nobody else telling us that. We are telling ourselves that.
Yeah.
I can't do better than this job.
Yep. I thought the
Who's
same
gonna?
thing. Yeah, I'm the director. Where else are we gonna have this from? Yeah, I understand that completely. Do you know what it made me remind me of, which made me laugh? Part of my exit strategy was I
Mm,
had developed a playlist of songs saying goodbye to
ooh,
the name of the company, just to
yes.
kind of help me.
Oh, I love
I played
that.
myself every day to help me kind of gather my confidence to when I
Oh,
was
I
gathering
like
to
that.
leave. One of the songs I had on this, "You'll Never Find Another Love Like Mine." Someone understands you the
Oh,
way I do.
yes. Oh,
I
I
sure
love
did.
this. No, we need to do more of that. Y'all, like, really think about that. If
Yep.
you're toying with the idea of making your exit, why don't you make yourself a playlist?
Yes. Yes.
I used to call my toxic job Todd. Apologies to the Todds that are doing the right thing, but
Yep.
my toxic job was Todd, toxic Todd.
Yep.
Okay. And I realized, because I had a friend in the trenches, we were sharing, we were both being two-time by toxic Todd. So we had to commiserate in the foolishness.
Yes.
So whatever you got to do to
Yes.
finally be like, you know what, Todd, kick rocks.
Yes. Kick rocks.
I'm out. I so love that you were like, okay, May 22nd. Okay, yes, it is time. Check
Yep.
out. 8 days later. Like, that is just beautiful.
Yeah.
That is
Again,
poetic.
it was in the back of my mind. I was thinking about doing it, and then as soon as I saw that
Mm,
my student loan go to zero, I was like,
mm,
bet,
mm. Okay.
bet.
Like, yes, this is you've been wanting a sign, girl. I got you. Here you go.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just thought it was a great
Oh
time
my
to like
gosh,
bet on
that's
myself.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Look. I'm so excited because, y'all, we done had a whole conversation about origin stories, about our villain slash hero eras, however you want to look at that, our turning points. We ain't even got into the topic really as what we gonna talk about today. And you know why that is? Because you're gonna have to come back for part two next week. Yeah, you are. But it's going to be good. Okay. Y'all saw how fast the time went. Come back next week where we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about, Lynnae, next week. What we're going to talk about?
We are going to really break down what it means to marry your talent, not your title. That's what we're going to talk about.
Oh, yes, we are. So y'all don't want to miss that. Okay. So come on back next week and get the tea on this because some of y'all need this. A lot of y'all need this.
Come on back. Yes, we're going to continue.
Okay.
That's right.
So come back next week. We'll see you then. Until next time, take care. Thanks for tuning in to Black Womaning in Corporate America, the podcast. If today's episode spoke to you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, or submit a 5-star rating wherever you're listening. And don't forget to grab your copy of Playing the Game While Black Womaning in Corporate America, available now wherever books are sold. Until next time, take care.